Hey guys, Joshua Neal here, and today we're going to be taking a look at Meticulous Invagination by Aborted. Now in a second we're going to zoom in. I'll show you all the parts of the song that you're going to need, but I'm also going to leave a link downstairs to a full notation and tab transcription of the parts so you can follow along. Alright, let's get to it. Alright, before we get started we've got to tune our bass. Now Aborted tunes in what's called B standard, which means that the strings still have the normal fourths relationship, but the lowest string is B. So on a 4-string bass that's going to be a low B in place of the E string, an E, an A, and a D. Now if you have a 5-string bass, you can just leave it as is. You're going to treat the low B string as I'm treating my low E string, the E string as I'm treating my A string, and so on. Also, I'm playing this song with a pick because it gives me that extra attack that I really want. You can play this with your fingers if you want. Alright, let's take a look at the first riff, the main riff. This is labeled number 1 in the chart. You're going to start on the first fret of the A string. I'm going to call it the A string even though it's now the E string on my bass. You're going to start with your first finger on the A string. You're going to pick that on beat 1, and the next 3 beats are going to be triplets on the low string. So that'll look like 1 triplet, 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 or 1, 2, and a 3, and a 4, and a... If you're using a pick, I'm starting that first triplet with an up pick so that when I come out of the pattern, I'm going to land on a down pick, which is what I personally want. 1, 2, and a 3, and a 4, and a... Next measure, we're going to start on the 2nd fret of the A string, and we're going to go all quarter notes. 2nd fret on the A string, 1st fret on the E string, 4th fret on the E string, back to the 1st fret on the E string. So far we've got 1 triplet, 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 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll do that again. 1 triplet, 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 1, 2, 3, 4. Next measure is going to be the same as the first measure. 1 triplet, triplet, triplet. And the last measure is going to be 4 more quarter notes. We start on the 2nd fret of the A string. We go to the 3rd fret of the A string. And we go up to the 1st fret on the D string. And back to the 3rd fret on the A string. So that last measure is 2nd fret, 3rd fret, 1st fret on the D, back to 3rd fret on the A. So when we put that whole part together, it comes out as 1 triplet, 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 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 triplet, 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 1, 2, 3, 4. Now part 2 in the chart is probably the easiest part of the song at all. It is all even 8th notes on the low E string. I know it is hard to hear on the recording, but the guitars are the ones doing the stabs. The jut, 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 jut. The bass is just cranking away on the low string the whole time. If you want to add a little more depth to your playing, you're going to want to accent the low string when the guitars do those stabs, which is on beat 1 of the first measure, beat 1 of the second measure, and beat 3 of the second measure, which would look like this. Just like that. Now the third riff, or what you might call the verse riff, gets a little bit more agile. got a lot of inside picking on this one, which can be a little bit difficult at first. So take your time with this one. We're going to start with 2 open low strings. We're going to go to 1st fret on the low string, back to the open low string. Then we go up to the 4th fret. We're going to be breaking up most of these with an open string in between them. We go up to the 4th fret, back to the open string, to the 3rd fret, back to the open string. So that first bar is 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 again. Next bar, we're going to start with a 1 to open again. And we're going to go all the way up to the 7th fret on the A string. I'm grabbing this with my pinky because it's a quick shift and it's going to be hard to get my first finger all the way up there, so I'm using my pinky so I don't have to travel too far. 7th fret on the A string, back to the open B, or open E, to the 3rd fret on the A, back to open E, 5th fret on the A, and then the open E again. So that next measure is do that again. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now the next measure is going to be very similar to the first measure, but instead of starting on an open low E, we're going to start on the 6th fret of the A string, back to the open low string, and then everything else is the same as before. 1 open, 4 open, 3 open. So the next measure looks like 6 open, 1 open, 4 open, 3 open, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Next measure is going to be the same as the second measure. 1 open, 4th finger, 1 open, 7 open, 6, 1 open, 7 open, 3 open, 5 open. For the next measure, we're going to end up on the 6th fret again, but instead of going back to the open low string, we're going to go to the open A string. And it's going to be the 6th fret, followed by 3 open A's, to the 3rd fret of the A string, followed by 3 open A's. So that measure looks like 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. And then the last measure in the pattern, starting on the 5th fret of the A string, coming down to the 3rd fret of the E string, and then 3rd fret on the A string, back to the 3rd fret on the E string. So that looks like so that whole riff, all the way through, nice and slow, looks like this. The next riff I'm calling riff 3A because it looks almost exactly like the last riff we just learned. The only difference is really the final note, and all that does is serve to get us into the next part of the song. So it's going to go exactly the same way. That's the only difference right there. On that very last measure, it's going to go 5th fret to the 3rd fret on the low string, 5th fret on the A string to 3rd fret on the low string, back to 3rd fret on the A string. We've got 2 hits on the 3rd fret of the low string, then we go right down to the 1st fret of the low string. So that looks like 1 and 2, 3 and 4, and next riff, which is kind of the chorus, is actually technically starting on that 1st fret up pick that we did at the end of the last riff. Although that open string comes in right on the beat down there, and that riff looks like this, nice and slow. Alright, so let's break that down. Before I break that down, I just want to point out that this particular riff, as well as a couple other riffs in the song I forgot to mention, this is not the way that they play a lot of these riffs live anymore. The members of the band that actually recorded this are no longer in the band, save for the singer, so things have changed around. Newer guitarists have made the riff their own. So this is the version that is on Gormageddon, not any of the more recent live ones. Alright, so we start on that 1st fret low string from the last riff. We end up on the open string, open low string. Then we're going to go open E, 2nd fret on the A to the 1st fret on the A, open E, 1st fret, open, and then we're just going to take that shape that we did and we're going to move it up a couple frets. We're going to go from the 2nd fret to the 4th fret. So we'll have open E, 4th fret on the A, 3rd fret on the A, back to open E, 1st fret E, open E, and then bring it back down to the 2nd fret, open, 2nd fret on the A, 1st fret on the A, back to open E, 1st fret, open, and then we've got this little fill to get us into the next part. So I'm going 2 and 3 and 4 on the open low string, and then I'm going to land on the 3rd fret of the low string to get me into the next part. Next part of the riff is the exact same thing, but instead of the moving note starting off the beat, on the end of the beat, it's going to start right on the beat. And we're not going to have any of those gaps. We're going to just pick all the way through it. It's going to start on the 1st fret of the low string. We're going to have a 1st fret and then 3 open low E's. Then we'll go up to the 2nd fret to the 1st fret shape on the A string. And just finish it out with 2 low E's. Back to 1st fret and 3 open strings. Then bring that shape up to the 4th fret. And we'll do 4th fret, 3rd fret on the A string, 2 open E's. So that first part of the next riff looks like. Next one's going to be the 1st fret to the 2-1 on the A again. And then the first time we finish up this riff, which is marked as the first ending in the chart, is going to start on the 1st fret of the low string. We're going to end on the 1st fret of the low string on the and of 4, because that's going to get us back into the riff to repeat it. When we get to the end of the riff the second time, we're going to replace that 1st fret hit with an open string, because we're going back into the previous riff, the verse riff.